This episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast is brought to you in partnership with ministryleague.com. We would love for more people to discover this show, so please rate and review us on iTunes or your podcast provider. Feel free to share on your social media and subscribe at benandtravis.com for the free ebook, 28 Days of Focused Living.
Welcome into the Helping Healing Humor podcast with Ben and Travis, and everybody else in Memphis is here with us too. Will Myhan is in the house, Justin Bretherick and Josh Thorne. Officially, Team Ben and Travis St. Jude weekend. We've all finished, and you probably can tell.
Praise the Lord.
You can probably tell that we just finished. I stuck with the 5K, and I feel refreshed. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but the rest of everybody here.
13.1 half marathon, and Travis is going to run it next year if we get enough people liking this episode.
Keep on drinking.
Like it as much as you can.
I like the what you're thinking there, Ben, but no.
It's just a no-go completely.
Yeah, I'm kind of out on that, especially as much as we walked around last night. So
yeah, that's true.
anyways, as we mentioned, St. Jude weekend, we just hit our goal of $10,000 raised, so we're fired up regardless of how our faces look. But Ben, Will, how are you guys doing?
Doing good. I feel pretty good. I did do some training before we came, and so I feel pretty good after the run. We still have a long drive home this afternoon, so ask me when I get back home how locked up everything is. But right now, everything's working properly, doing okay. Will, we ran together for most of it. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I enjoyed the donuts and oranges that I got around mile 11, 12-ish.
Yeah.
I had not trained very much, but, that's okay. We had a good time. You always said, what was that, fundraise and finish.
Fundraise, finish, and have a little fun while you're at it.
And we were over $10,200 raised as of right now. So
Can they still donate? They can
Yes,
still donate
absolutely.
right now.
I think
December
through
17th.
December 17th.
Yeah.
So yeah, go donate to the team. We've raised. I know Will, Travis, and I have all raised our personal fundraising promise that we made. So the way this works, if you ever want to do it, is you kind of make a promise that you'll raise a certain amount if you sign up to be a hero. So we've got our three. So Justin and Josh are still working on theirs. They're getting closer. So picked up. Justin's like, no. So anyway, go on there and find these guys.
We can send their links.
Yeah,
Link will be in the comments.
So help them get to theirs. None of the money, we don't ever see it. It goes straight to St. Jude, and it allows them to basically take care of the bills, the food, the housing, the transportation for all these kids. And, that's one of the most interesting and difficult things. You got to turn on the windshield wipers when you run through St. Jude, because you got a lot of kids standing out there cheering for you, and it's kind of like, shouldn't we be cheering for you guys? So we do.
There was a sign, one I remember said, one of the children had, "You're helping me survive."
Yeah.
And it's just
done
like,
at that point.
Yeah. So, but
You're supposed to run this thing.
Yeah.
you don't have to be a hero to come be a part of the team.
Mm-mm.
Right, if there's people that want to run at some point, you can join the team and not make a commitment where if you don't reach it, you've got to pay for it.
And another cool thing you can do, if you haven't ever come and just experienced the weekend, if you don't want to run, if you're like Chase told me this morning, he was here cheering on his wife. He's like, is a bear chasing me? So he's not running, but he's there cheering on people, and you can stage it, hand out waters, hand out little donuts. Justin ate a chocolate donut at some point. So, yeah, you can do all that, and it's pretty cool. So we have Justin with us and Josh. So how are you guys feeling?
Yeah, I'm a little wore out. The last time I ran a considerable distance was the Bata 5K. And when was that?
The second
that
week
was
in July.
Yeah, the second week of July. So not much training. And I think I might have treated it more as a buffet than a half marathon.
So the thing that's irritating to me is, I trained somewhat. I didn't train as much as I probably should have, but I was running still a couple of weeks ago Will's last run was in September.
Yeah.
Yours was in July. Josh had an interesting weekend, and Josh beat us, and Will and Justin were just a little bit behind me. So I'm like, I'm not a runner. So that's what we learned from this. So
You're a fundraiser.
I'm a fundraiser. That's it.
Yeah,
Josh, how was your weekend?
It was. I've had better. High level, got food poisoning, and still finished the race. So very, very fortunate to be able to do that.
Like
But
20 minutes or 25 before any of us.
So I did.
Yeah.
However, I did train pretty hard for this. So at least I feel like I did. So that's the one caveat I did have. I trained pretty hard for it.
So I'd like to go around the room, and we won't go on very long because we talk about St. Jude a lot. We've had a couple of episodes dedicated to it. But for the run, when you were running, we'll go around the room and give us maybe the most funny thing that happened on the run. We've made a little mention of that. The funny thing, not needing pit stops, but the funny thing, and then maybe the thing that really kept you going. Maybe when you were at that point where you're like, I just don't know, and maybe it kind of pushed you along. So I'll jump in and give these guys some time to think. But you're running through the campus. You mentioned that, and as a cancer survivor, ringing the bell is a big deal.
Yeah.
And you got all these people that hand out cowbells at the expo, and so you've got people all along the line ringing their bells. I got Haley and Daniel one, so I'll check back and let y'all know how bad of a mistake that was. But you run through the campus, and there's a kid over there, and he's got glasses like Daniel wears, and he doesn't have any hair, and he's ringing that bell. And I just remember thinking, man, I can't wait one day to ring the bell, and now here I am several years after, and it's like everybody I ran by, I guess this is the funny thing too, is, hey, I got a fever, and I need more cowbell, and everybody is happy to assist you on the cowbell.
Yeah. Awesome.
And then, Justin and I were talking earlier, you come around that corner, and there's the finish line, and it's like the finish line does not get closer.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, the closer I actually get, the heavier my feet are, and the farther that finish line looks. But you kind of just, you pace yourself a little bit, but then you see that finish line, and you're like, all right, it's on like Donkey Kong, and you just try to finish that thing.
I think the funniest one for me was when I was running past somebody, and they're like, "Hey, how Alabama gonna do this weekend?" I was like, "I don't know." And then the guy right behind him goes, "Everybody's doing great except for the guy in the Alabama hat." And I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. But yeah, definitely seeing the kids, like you said, Doc, you're cheering you on. What got me actually almost teared up was that when somebody's dad had the little girl on her shoulders and was giving high fives and stuff, and that was pretty impactful.
Justin.
So going back to the finish line again, when I came around, there was a pretty big group ahead of us, and there's a big group behind us, and it was just me and this lady between these two big groups going to the finish line, and she just looks at me. She said, "Are we moving?" I said, "I think so." It don't look like it.
Amen.
That's funny.
But you also ate a full donut in like mile 12. So I
Yes,
think
that was after I'd already had pieces of donuts.
So we go through this one neighborhood, and there is a lot of donuts being handed out, a lot of snacks, a lot of drinks, and a few of the more adult style drinks being handed out. Apparently something about it goes straight to the bloodstream with carbs, or it's just because people want to hand out alcohol. I don't really know. But there was an awful lot of it on this one particular street. But they were having a party. They had like blow-ups in the yard for the kids. They had all kinds of stuff. So that was pretty cool. They were having a party.
But nobody partook.
No. We did not. But it was a...
There was plenty of people that did.
There was music playing.
Yeah,
I mean, blasting music. I was like, I looked at Will at that point, and I was like, man, people here just turn this into a party.
Yeah.
Like it's a, and I think that's the cool
Everybody's
part about it
jovial,
too.
man. Everywhere you go, they're cheering you on. They cheered us on this morning. I went down to breakfast after I'd run. And, everybody's in there cheering you. They see the shirts and do those things.
Well, we walked in from the run, and as we were passing the front desk of the hotel, everybody behind the front desk was like, "Yeah!" for all of us. So I mean, that was a cool thing.
Justin, did you mention your motivation?
Just seeing everybody cheering, makes you realize that it's all worth it.
it's a strange thing, and that's what I was thinking. I guess on mine was, I think at one point I looked at Will and I said, it's so much different when you run with other people. Like, most of our training, and I assume most of you guys too, you're running by yourself. You're listening to your music, and it's so easy to get in your own head and just sort of like, I can't go another mile. Well, it just seemed like it just kept on going. I mean, it felt like it was forever, but like you could just keep going because you had, we ran together, and then of course watching the other people run, and then that's mine is the kids standing around, and I get teary-eyed when I was running through St. Jude with us, having been there, know the buildings, and I've walked the halls, and just seeing those kids out there with the signs, I'm here because you guys are running, and all these different things that. Then I saw some. There was one right off the bat. We were behind a girl that it said something about I'm running for Sonny, and the girl next to her it said I'm Sonny and I'm a survivor. Yeah. And so they're running together. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. So that made for a lot of motivation there. I think the funniest was just, to me, I try to read every sign. I'd probably miss a bunch of them, but there's some pretty funny ones that people hold up. You're running faster. Just look at it this way: you're running faster than the people behind you. And then another one said, "You're running faster. You're running better than our government does." And there was some pretty funny ones that people had. I can't remember all.
It's a low bar, but hey, whatever.
I have a pretty low bar when it comes to running, but I don't remember what all of them were. But there was some pretty good ones, and they hold up signs. One of the first ones that we came across was a mushroom. It's like, hit the mushroom for speed. So. People slapping hands and letting you hit the posters, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I always enjoy the signs, and you can't necessarily repeat all the signs.
That's true, yeah.
That you see, but the one, I told the lady that was holding the "You're running better than our government," I was like, that's the best sign I've seen all day. The thing for me, too, is you'll turn a corner, and there's just a whole group of people, and they don't know us from Adam, but they're just cheering, and so it's just, to me, the community within the running, world is just really supportive, really, really cool. It was funny when I ran, me and Justin were kind of back and forth there for a couple minutes, like I'd run and he'd walk, and then I'd walk and he'd run, and at one point I ran past him, and he's just eating that chocolate-covered donut, just laughing at me, and so that was pretty cool. I didn't run through the finish. I walked through it because last night I posted on my social media, I want to reach my $3,000 by the time I cross the finish line. So I'm walking down the hill, one, trying to find Lindsay, to see her. And then two, I was sitting there just reloading, my fundraising page, to see if it would happen. And when I got to the top of the hill where the point one is going down, it flipped over to $3,009
right there.
Right there. So, or at least for me, it did. And so my motivation for a lot of it was the people back home that gave. Because I'm like, I'm asking all these people to donate their hard-earned money that they've worked for, and all I have to do is come finish a half marathon. And there's people giving hundreds of dollars. All I got to do is at least just walk across the finish line, and so just the idea that people want to support something bigger than themselves was just really cool and motivating to me.
I was in that last stretch. I kind of took off running by myself there at the end, and there was this guy in front of me that was wearing a T-shirt that on the back had Philippians 4:13. So there for a few minutes, I was just reading the back of the shirt. Like, I'm just going to focus on that. Like, I can do this.
And speaking of seeing like motivation, I saw a couple that was kind of somber where on the back it said "in memory of."
Yeah.
And it was, of who they were running for. So
we passed a lady at probably mile 6 or 7 that said 1 year ago diagnosed with cancer, this year a survivor and running. And she was like probably in her mid-60s.
Yeah.
And it's like you see people like that you would look at and go, I'm 31, there's no way they should be in front of me. They may have trained harder, or whatever it is, but it's really cool to see all the different age groups of people that are doing it.
Yeah, and you have I think 4 hours to finish. So
Right.
I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people look at this and go, I couldn't do the half marathon, or I couldn't do whatever. Well, I mean, you've got plenty of time if
Yeah.
you want to come walk it. There's plenty of people who are going slow, but hey, it's just about finishing and fundraising.
And everybody supports the people that are walking.
It doesn't matter
just as much as the guy who's finishing first in the marathon.
But that was the other motivation with me, is when we would come by a group, like a big group cheering, I was like,
Yeah.
we really should be running out here. Like, they're screaming like, you can do it, keep running. And I'm thinking, I'm walking right now, but I will be running in a second.
Yeah.
There was a sign that says, "You look so hot when you're running." It's like, you're right. But yeah, to that point, and just kind of a wrap up, nobody was asking us who we voted for. And they
That's
cheered.
true. Yeah.
Nobody asked us what our belief system was. They were cheering.
Yeah.
And so when you've got that one goal that brings everybody together, it's nice to see. And I think, this is obviously a weekend where that's on full display. And just one more sign, had to be a Catholic group, I guess, over here on the right as I come around. And there's a sign that says, "Sun's out, none's out." And I was like, that's awesome. But from Team Ben and Travis,
Yeah.
we thank you so much. I know so many of you supported. You can continue to support. And we would love to fill up an entire hallway of this hotel next year with Team Ben and Travis. That would be
And there's
phenomenal.
a lot of teams out here. I saw a group this morning taking a picture, and they looked like there was 30 people, and I bet there's teams that are bigger than that.
Team Ben and Travis Memphis Takeover next December. Go ahead and mark it down. Always the first weekend, right? December.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So run on that. Go ahead and mark it down. I'm not sure what it is, but we'd love to have you. Have a great day.
Ready to thrive in your ministry work? Pursuing a degree in biblical studies at the undergraduate or graduate level is now more convenient than ever. The deadline to apply for spring semester classes at Heritage Christian University is January 10th. To apply or see all the classes available, visit www.hcu.edu. Nearly all of these classes were created to be taken remotely, so no matter your schedule or location, you can be a part of learning more about the Bible in the new year. Apply today. Thanks for being with us for this episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast. Be sure to download our free ebook, 28 Days of Focused Living, at benandtravis.com and receive all of our Helping Healing and Humor extra content directly in your inbox. We look forward to having you join us at the same Ben and Travis time, same Ben and Travis channel.